Welcome back to the Bobtail Help Desk. If you're new here, I'm Caroline, and the Bobtail Help Desk is your one-stop shop for all trucking business and finance how-tos. At Bobtail, we provide a hassle-free factoring service for truckers with no long-term contracts and no hidden fees. Factoring is a financial service that helps pay your invoices quickly. Those invoices that it would normally take 30 or even 60 days for the broker to pay. Speaking of brokers, our topic today is finding loads for new trucking companies. In the first 6 to 12 months of operating under a new authority, finding loads can be a real challenge. This is because you haven't yet established a track record for safety and reliability, and a lot of brokers and shippers may not want to work with you just yet. But don't panic. We've been working with trucking companies operating under new authorities for nearly a decade. Every carrier has to start somewhere. So here's what you need to know. First, you've probably heard about the spot market versus the contract market, or spot rates and contract rates. So what's the difference? A contract rate is what it sounds like, a rate defined by a contract. This is when a shipper or broker will work with a carrier over a specific amount of time to haul a certain amount of product for a fixed price. For example, a broker may have the same load they need to move from Chicago, Illinois to Louisville, Kentucky 2 times a week over the next 3 months. They'll find a carrier for this work and sign a contract with them for a fixed price. Spot rates, on the other hand, is when a carrier bids on and books a load from a load board that needs to be moved either that same day or within the next couple of days. Because each load is negotiated individually, spot rates are at the mercy of the supply and demand of that week or even that day. More trucks available and less loads to haul means lower rates. Less trucks, more loads means higher rates. Now, the law of supply and demand applies to both contract and spot markets, but spot rates will change more rapidly, whereas contract rates are set for the duration of those contracts. Getting contracted freight means more predictability and stability for the carrier, whereas booking on the spot market can lead to much higher rates when times are good. So what does this mean for you? Well, as a brand new carrier, even if you would like to work the contract market eventually, for the first 6 to 12 months, you're very likely going to have to work the spot market. This is because, again, you haven't established a safety record or proven to be reliable yet. You haven't had the time to do that. And that's really what shippers and brokers are looking for when it comes to contracted freight. If you're looking to contracts as a reliable way to build your business in the future, you first need to start off by building relationships and establishing that great track record. So here's what you're going to do to find loads in those first 6 to 12 months of your new authority. First up, load boards. A load board is an online marketplace that matches shippers, brokers, and carriers on a job-by-job basis. This is where all the non-contracted freight goes. Depending on the equipment you run and the type of cargo you're authorized to haul, different load boards may be better for your business. Here are our favorite load boards. I'll leave links to all of them in the description below. When you're bidding on that first load, start making a habit out of checking the broker's credit rating. This is a feature that sometimes costs a little extra on load boards, but it can be well worth it. You really don't want to book a load that doesn't end up getting paid. And if you factor with Bobtail, we offer credit rating checks on brokers for free. Another tip for using load boards, don't just depend on one load board. You may have to try up to a dozen before you find the 2 or 3 load boards that really work for you. Also, when booking loads, plan ahead. You might find something that looks like a great rate going to one city, only to find that when you get there, there are no loads coming back. When you book on load boards, you can book multiple loads and string cities along so that you can limit deadhead miles. The next strategy is about making friends. No, seriously. The friendships you build with owner-operators, brokers, and shippers will prove to be extremely valuable. Now, I say making friends and not networking because some people think that networking means just handing out your business card at events. Making friends is about building genuine relationships that lead to more business in the future. Of course, in-person events can be a great way to build those relationships and meet people in the industry. Try joining a local chamber of commerce or industry association. To get the ball rolling, you might also consider making a list of the brokers and shippers in your local area and sending out a postcard or a pamphlet with your business's information. You can also try making cold calls. This is a strategy that works for a lot of carriers. Calling up brokers and shippers and just letting them know about your business, what you specialize in, and what makes you different from other carriers. But building your network in the trucking industry goes far beyond building relationships with potential clients. The friendships you make with other owner-operators can be just as valuable. Really experienced carriers can help you avoid making the mistakes that they made when they were starting out. They may even be able to introduce you to new opportunities. Finally, as a carrier running under a new authority, you can hire a dispatcher. Their job is to manage the carrier's freight in exchange for a percentage of each load. Now, dispatching services do vary greatly in price and quality, so make sure you ask trusted sources only for recommendations. On one hand, hiring a dispatcher can free up your time for delivering more loads or managing other aspects of your business. On the other hand, dispatching services tend to charge a significant percentage of your revenue and could potentially block you from building relationships with your own clients. If you decide to hire a dispatching service, we still highly recommend that you learn how to dispatch yourself. This is so that when times get rough, you can cut expenses by booking your own loads. There you go. 3 strategies for booking loads and building a network in the trucking industry as a new carrier. It's true that you might have to haul some cheap freight when you first start out, making it all the more important to know your numbers. What are you bringing in? What are you spending? And your cost per mile. We'll cover those in future videos. In the meantime, if you found this information useful, please give this video a like and subscribe to our channel. And I'll see you in the next video.